Hello, ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful, beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. If you could please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. I've got a very exciting video for you guys today. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a custom Elite Mattel Chris Benoit action figure. And like I said, I'm very, very excited for this video because I've actually done this video in the past. It was my first ever custom making video. It was my first time ever making a custom, and I decided to do it on video so you could pretty much tell it was a disaster. And it was actually a two-parter. I made part one and a part two. They were both over 20 minutes long, and like I said, it was my first time ever making a custom, so I did not know how to do jack, and I'm disappointed in it. Actually, the views did great. The one is almost at like 5,000 views, and I think the other's at like 3,000 or 4,000 views, so that is fantastic. But knowing nothing about doing it and putting in the title how to make a custom Chris Benoit, when I didn't know how to do it at the time, I was just guessing and pretty much going off what I've seen. It wasn't pretty, guys. Let's just put it that way. I didn't even know how to take off knee pads properly, so I ended up using scissors and cutting them off, and that was the majority of the comments were like yelling at me for cutting them with scissors because I just didn't know at the time. But now I know a little bit more about customs. I'm still trash at doing them, don't get me wrong. That's why I have other people make the customs for me now, but this one is just going to be so easy because I don't have to do much. But I'm going to go over the parts and things you need to actually go ahead and make it, and this is going to be for this specific attire right here, ladies and gentlemen. You'll notice we have a Jax, and on the right side we have a Mattel. This is actually the Chris Benoit right here that I worked on first, and you're probably thinking, Christian, Unstable Tab 47, what happened to it? Where did the decals go? Well, really, when I first did it, guys, it turned out pretty good. You know, it was a bad video. Both were bad videos, but the outcome of it didn't look that bad. Of course, the decals, I didn't know how to really do decals either. So, you know, some of the yellow was off and it was white. And, you know, my display a few weeks ago actually fell down. And since then, you know, the torso on this figure actually is messed up because I never did glue it at the time. So, of course, it's a lot looser. And then, of course, the decals just over time just got worse and worse. And I didn't use Micro Sol or Micro Set at the time. I legit just use water and I think Mod Podge, if I even used that at the time. So you could obviously tell that at the end of it did not work out good. But another thing I wanted to say before we actually get into all the parts and things you are going to need to actually make this attire Chris Benoit is recently I've gotten over 200 new subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. For about a week, YouTube decided to share my videos and people's recommended out of nowhere. So that was really, really awesome. I was getting a lot more views than normal. So thank you, YouTube, for doing that. I really do appreciate that. But you're not sharing them no more. Maybe you could go back and do that. That was a really good week for the YouTube channel. But why I'm bringing this up is, number one, to thank you guys to all the new subscribers. But recently, I've made 2 videos about Chris Benoit, and I've been getting a lot of hate comments recently. So I just wanted to say this really fast. At the end of the day, we all know how Chris Benoit's last days were. I am not gonna stick up for him in any way because there was horrible things that he's done, but someone saying, you know, you shouldn't be getting Chris Benoit stuff, you shouldn't be talking about Chris Benoit, and I'm putting that nicely. They weren't that nice. At the end of the day, guys, it's a toy. It's not like I'm saying, oh, good job, Chris Benoit, that was the most amazing thing ever. I'm not saying that whatsoever. We all know that it was a terrible, horrible thing that happened. So just remember, guys, it's toys at the end of the day. That's what this channel is about, doing toys, and all I'm doing is making a Chris Benoit action figure. We can't act like they don't already exist. They're already in the works. That's why there's a Jax figure that's on the left of the screen. I'm just recreating that. As we all know, if you've been on the channel for a while, Chris Benoit is my favorite of all time, so I'm going to continue to try and have a good Chris Benoit action figure collection, and that's just it. So if you guys don't like me talking about Chris Benoit, I've been doing it for what, 6 or 7 years, however long I've been on YouTube. I'm not going to stop anytime soon. So if that bothers you or affects you, this is just not the channel for you guys to watch. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for watching the videos that you have watched. But if you decide to go, I hope you guys find a really good channel to enjoy on YouTube. But enough of that. Just wanted to get that out of the way to try and stop all the hate about this, because remember guys, it is just toys. But back to what we are doing. We are making a custom Chris Benoit action figure. Now there is a few different parts you guys could use for the torso. I'm gonna go over all of them right now. Number one mainly is the John Cena torso, and that's what this is. And you guys are probably wondering, why do you have another John Cena torso? Well guys, take a look at this. Ever since it fell, like I said, I never glued it. It legit comes off just like that, and I really didn't do a really good torso crack. So you could legit drop it on the ground, it's gonna come apart. It just was never a good idea. But here is the John Cena torso right here. A lot of people actually don't like the John Cena torso. They think it's too big, too buff. But to me, I think it works out pretty well. And you know, it actually matches the skin tone to the Jakks heads that I like using pretty well. So this is a really good alternative, a cheap alternative, like the cheapest John Cena figure elite you could get if you want to make a elite Chris Benoit. It's a really cheap alternative. More people like using the Bobby Roode figure, and I'm gonna be honest guys, recently, which you will see in an upcoming video this week, is I have 2 Chris Benoit custom elites coming that actually use this torso and the legs, guys. Actually, the legs too. You could just paint over the legs whichever color you want, and the height, it works out really good. It's a good height, and you know, whatever decals you want, guys. Remember, you could go to Curb Stomp. That's where I get them. Curb Stomp City decals. That's where I get the decals from whenever I need them. Other people like using, you know, the shirtless Sting torso. You know, that came in the Then Not Forever Elite 3-pack. That came in his Elite 62. That's another good one to use. A lot of other people use the Stone Cold torsos. So yeah, there's a lot of different torsos you guys could use for making, you know, the Chris Benoit customs. Now it comes to the lowers. Like I said, you could use the Bobby Roode lowers. A lot of other people use, you know, Sin Cara's, Linsteratos. You know, these lowers, which I'm actually going to be using, which I don't even have to paint, are the Andrade legs from his last Elite figure. And I do actually have to clean these up because there's some marks on it. So that's going to be really easy to just wash those off. But that's what I'm going to be using. And again, guys, the height does work out really well with these. You would think they don't, because, you know, Andrade is a small figure, but it does work out. You could promise me. I put them next to my other Chris Benoit customs, and it does work out. So, you know, this Andrade figure is a little bit expensive these days, but, you know, I mentioned some previous figures where you could use those legs, especially this Bobby Roode, guys. If you just want to use this, you know, if you are good at painting faces, you know, to try and match the skin tone a little bit better. You know, the Jakks Chris Benoit heads don't match this skin tone quite as much, but if you know how to paint the heads up to make it a little bit more tanner, you got a great figure right here. And this figure is actually still cheap, but again, you use the John Cena torso, you know, that matches the best with the, you know, the Jakks heads. That's the Jakks figure right there. And then, well, you're probably wondering, why do I have this Chris Benoit action figure right here? Is because for the thumbnail, I want to actually go ahead and use this head. So, because this is the original head that is on this figure, which you could obviously see right here. I took it off, but I want to have it in the thumbnail. I want to have the finished Mattel next to of course, the Jakks figure, you know, kind of to show you guys the comparison. But if you guys don't know how to torso crack, you know, I'm still trash at it as well. So it's kind of hard, at least for me. I know a lot of other people don't have any issues, but, you know, some people, they use the blow dryer, the hair dryer, you know, to me, that's where I messed up my most torso cracks. For me, I go, you know, use the boiling pot of water. That, you know, it takes longer to boil the water than it does to actually take the torso apart. You know, you get a boiling pot of water, put it on the stove, wait till it boils, put the torso in, put the parts in, take it out after, you know, 20-30 seconds. Use the screwdriver right here. You're going to need a screwdriver, and then you're going to put it in this section right here. Of course, you're going to have to move it around, but it's going to be a lot looser. and then you're just gonna pull it off, but make sure, you know, if you're having issues, put it back in the boiling water. I'm not going to show that on screen, guys, because I've done it before. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs. That's why I'm explaining it right now as we go, so you don't have to see, you know, parts that you don't need to. But, you know, if you're having trouble after you take it out of the water, just put it back in, wait till it gets more loose. You're going to take out the arms, both of the arms. Then, you know, you see the lines on the side. You're going to peel those apart. It's going to come out pretty easy. You know, it'll take you like a minute or 2 minutes at most. And then you're going to have those parts, you're going to have the parts out. Well, I should have used this one right here because that's what we're going to be using. And then we're going to come back to this spot. We're going to put, you know, the torso onto this figure after I take this spot off. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Everything's going to be put together because we already have the black boots. And then we're going to put on the decals. What you're going to need for the decals is a bowl of water, which I have to the side right here. You guys can't see. You're going to need a towel. Of course, you're going to need the decals. You're going to need the micro set, the micro sole. You're going to put on the one of them, which we will, of course, I'll tell you which one to put on first. You're gonna put this on first, then you're gonna wipe it where the decals go. Then you're gonna, you know, put the decal in the water, wait 10-15 seconds, put it on the towel, wait for it to dry, and then of course you're gonna apply it. Then you're gonna put the next one on, and then you're just gonna repeat that till all the decals go in the right spot. And at the end, you're gonna have this beautiful, the beautiful decals on. You know, a very simple custom to do, guys. Really, you know, this is why I went with this one, because we already had all the parts. Don't have to paint nothing, just have to do a quick torso swap on it, and, you know, apply the decals. I'm terrible at applying decals, but, you know, maybe at the end of this it will look good. I'm hopefully I don't mess up this torso crack. But I'm gonna go to the stove, I'm gonna boil this water, I'm gonna take this torso off, and then we're just gonna get into it. So I shall be back, guys. See you in a minute. Alright guys, I am back right now, and you're probably wondering, Christian, it looks exactly the same. I thought you were going to show us how to do everything. Well, technically, I was originally going to show you guys how to do it, but I realized, you know, I already screwed up the torso crack. I'm going to be 100% honest, guys, but you could tell I did put it back together, because you could rewind right now and see that this black line wasn't there. That was on the new torso that I was using, and like I said, I'm going to be honest, because, you know, like I said, I'm still trash at doing customs. Still never really got the torso cracking down. I don't know what it is. You know, there were some times where I did a beautiful torso crack, but like that's like 10% of the time. The other 90% I'm just straight trash at it. But you could obviously see I did mess up a little bit, and it is rather loose, and that's what I was kind of not hoping it would be. As you could see right here, that's the one thing that I always happen to get. Like I said, I'm not good at it. That's why I have other people doing the torso cracks for me. So pretty much this tutorial isn't gonna like show you, it pretty much is showing you how to do it, but if you are good at it, I'm basically telling you the parts and stuff that you're gonna need. But for me personally, I'm not good at torso cracking. It's just something I never was able to get down. But why I didn't show it is because, number one, I did mess it up. I believe there was 8 holes in this one that you gotta connect, and I messed up 3 of them. So, you know, it's a shame. It always happens to me. That's why I stopped doing these on my own. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's like a little puzzle. You just connect the pieces back together. I didn't really need to show you that part. But now we're on to the other part that I dread, that I hate doing. It's the applying the decals. Now the bowl of water, we're gonna come into the screen now. Put that there. We're gonna sit this one down. You know, we're gonna open this. I'm gonna show you guys this, and then I'm gonna turn off the camera. I'm just gonna show you like one. Of course, you're gonna have to cut those out. But really, right now, guys, we're gonna, like I said, let's show you. They're the exact same. So this is what you're going to want to end up with right here. You could obviously say, this is what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to work off of. Usually I just use Curb Stomp's website, you know, just stare at it. But since we got the actual figure from Jack's right in front of us, we could pretty much do it. Now what you're going to need, of course, you're going to need a bowl of water. And then, of course, you're going to need some scissors so you could cut out, you know, oh, there's a piece of hair right there. Let's take that off. So you could cut out, you know, of course, the decals. So you could, you know, put them in the water for 10 seconds, lay them on the towel. Then you're going to take your micro set. This is what you're going to put on first. You're going to put it in the spots where the decal is going to go. For example, I guess we'll start off with these right here. Of course, this one, we're going to put the micro set as, of course, the decal is drying. You know, not not that long. It has to dry for, 15-20 seconds. Micro set is already on it. We're gonna take it off and then put it right there. So very, very easy. I'll show you how to do it really quickly, because I'm sure you guys don't want to sit through all of these right now. Like, oh my god, we don't want to sit through all these freaking decals. I'm sure, because every time I apply decals as well, guys, I've always messed up at least one set of the decals. Thankfully, Curb Stomp, when you order from him, he puts 2 sets in, so if you mess up, you get another chance. So hopefully your boy doesn't mess up, because then this video will just be terrible. I already messed up the torso crack. I don't want to mess anything else up. So usually what you're going to want to do is you're going to want like tweezers or something. Actually, let me get this right here. This one will actually be easier. Thankfully, I have some nail clippers right here. So we're going to do that. That's one of the mistakes I always make that I've noticed, especially when I do decals. This is the smart thing to do. We got the towel right to our side. Well, usually I just put, as he falls, usually what I do is I just go ahead and use my hands and dunk it in and then try and put it on. But every time I've ever done that, that's when I've always messed up the actual, the decal. So you know what, I'm gonna do it the smart way. It takes a little bit more time, but you know what, if I don't mess up, I'll be thoroughly impressed. So what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna get your little paintbrush, dip it in there, then you're gonna want to do this, of course, like I said, gently apply it right there where the decal is gonna go. Let that sit right there. Get your nail clippers or tweezers. Then what you want to do is you're going to grab it like this, not too hard. Then of course you see the water, you're going to hold it in there, a few seconds, 10 at max. Just sit it in there. You guys know what you're going to do. Blah 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 blah. And then, it's a small decal, so you're not going to want to have it drenched, for like 30 seconds. And then what you want to do, put the towel over it, let it sit for a minute, let it dry. And then another thing what you want to do after, of course, is something I always forget. I always skip that part as well. So thankfully I'm remembering everything, because every time I make customs off camera, I always forget all the important parts. Thankfully I'm remembering the parts for this video right here. What was I even saying? You're going to want to tap, the decal. Actually, when it goes into the spot, you're going to tap the decal down with the towel, pat it down a little bit. So now we got this one. Now we're going to get this right here, pick it up. Come on, grab it like that. We got the decal right there, and you're going to want it just like that, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be how we're going to do it. Then we're going to pull it off right here. We're going to use our hands for this part. Like I said, I shouldn't be doing this because, I really should. Wait, why isn't it coming off? There we go. Okay, we got it off a little bit. Then you're going to grab it like so. If I could. My hands shake so much. This is always the worst part for me. Especially with small decals like this. I can never get it because my hands are always shaking like this. Is my face on the screen? We're having difficulties. Come on. We should have had more water in it. Why isn't it coming off? Can you come off? What the hell? Okay, we got it off. I guess we're gonna have to do it the hard way. You see, I wrinkled it a little bit. That's something you don't want to do. So maybe we're just gonna show you, but I'm probably just gonna take this one off after I show you guys how it goes, because it's already wrinkled and the yellow is already too big. So I'll just take this off. Thankfully, like I said, you do have extras, and then you're just going to want to do it. You're not going to want to use your hands like I'm doing, like I said I wasn't going to do. But pretty much, come on. This is what you want to do. This is pretty much it. Like I said, I'm just going to take it off. It's going to look terrible right now, but at the end, it's going to be better. I'm just going to take it off. I'm not going to put this on because, like I said, I'm taking it off. But once you got the decal in the spot where you want it, you're going to dip the paintbrush in this and then apply it on that. And then, of course, let it sit for a minute, then go on to the next decal. So that is what you're going to get. I just wanted to show you the one to show you guys kind of how it works. Okay, so I'm going to go apply the rest of these decals. When I get them all on, cross your fingers I don't screw up. And then I'll be back and show you the final product. See you guys in a second. Alright guys, I am back and we finally got the decals on. Now one thing you are going to notice with the decals is they aren't the exact shade of yellow of course, the tights that are on this Andrade. Now, one thing you could do if that is gonna bother you is get the correct shade of yellow, and then you could paint where the yellow is. You got to be very careful. Now, if you get it just right, you know, not paint, of course, you know, where the decals are, where it says Benoit for real, or of course the logos, it could actually look pretty decent and look like nothing's wrong with it, because I've actually done that before on my Coco Beware custom that I did, because it wasn't the correct color, and then I had some of the correct color paint at the time, so I did that, and honestly it looked like that's how the decals were made, the exact color. So that's one thing you could do. Now, you could see that the decals are not the best. You could see some wrinkles in them. Like I said, I'm not that good at torso cracking or applying decals. This video is just kind of a tutorial on parts and how it can turn out, but of course I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there who are better at, you know, doing decals and torso cracking than me. Like I said, I'm admitting it. I am trash at this. This is just something I wanted to do. I'm sure I'm gonna have one of my friends in this community help me fix this for me, because the torso, it's not good, and of course the decals, there's wrinkles in it. So I'm sure I'm gonna eventually get this fixed by someone so it's actually accurate. But this is what it looks like right now. You could obviously see same things. And one thing I did notice is when I was in the last clip, I was putting on the wrong decal. I was putting on that decal on the front, and thank goodness I realized after I turned off the camera, oh, I'm putting on the wrong decal, but thankfully I didn't use that one anyway. I was just kind of showing you. Now for the final part, guys, I am gonna go ahead and use the hairdryer to heat up the heads that I will be using, so you could obviously see what they look like. And like I said, I'm gonna be using the same heads so you could get an idea of what it will look like if you use the same parts that I am using, and of course, you know, the same heads and things of that nature. I just want to do like a little comparison video. That's mainly what I wanted to do. But yeah, he's having trouble standing up right now since I've been moving him, so we're just gonna... Yeah, okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead, like I said, got the hairdryer. Very simple, you know, just get the heads, heat them up, you know, turn on the hairdryer, put it on hot, put it like that, you know, 10, 15 seconds, just pop the head on. It's that easy. So when I'm done with that, I will be back to show you guys the final product so we can end this video. Okay guys, I have the heads on right now, and you can obviously see the number one biggest difference, of course, with Jakks and Mattel is the height. You could obviously see that the Jakks one is much, much taller than the Mattel version. So of course you have a much more accurate Chris Benoit figure with the Mattel torsos and, you know, parts and things of that nature. That's one thing I love Jakks. They're still my favorite of all time, but you know, their part choices were just crazy to me. They were out of this world. Even though I still love Jakks more, like I said, it's just, I don't know what it is. I'll always like them more. But you could obviously see what they look like now. If you ask me, they look really, really good next to each other. I wasn't going to mention this, guys, but I knew I was going to screw it up when I was putting the heat on. You know, like I said, the torso is loose on this. So I messed up the decal when I was putting the head on, pushing it down. My hand accidentally moved when the torso turned, and I smushed that decal. I really don't want to show you guys because it's messed up, but like I said, I am fixing it. I'm going to have someone else fix it. It doesn't actually look as bad as it does in person on camera, but you could see the color actually came off when my palm kind of smushed on it. So, you know, it's a raw video. I got to show how everything turns out in time. Like I said, not good at doing customs. I'll forever be trash. I'll never improve. But you know what? Who knows? Anything is possible. Maybe one day I'll turn out to be the best customizer in the world. But as of right now, I'm going to be pretty low on that list at one of the worst. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. That's what you are going to need and use to make a Chris Benoit custom, guys. So if I helped you out a little bit, I know mine didn't turn out the way I would like it, and I'm sure the way you guys would like it. But, you know, these are the correct part choices. As long as you are good at putting on decals and good at torso cracking, at the end of it, you should have a very nice Chris Benoit figure for your personal collection. But if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you could please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you are a new viewer, please subscribe for more. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you beautiful people next time.